What is up, guys? We're back in the world of the first Descendant, and I gotta say, I woke up this morning and saw some pretty inspiring information from the dev team that makes me feel pretty damn good as a content creator that we're gonna have to discuss in this video, alongside some other interesting bits that I think you guys are gonna like. Before we do that though, I did want to thank you all for the 10,000 subs on the channel. I've been grinding YouTube for the better part of the last 2 years, and finally hitting this milestone has been pretty damn amazing. Now, because we did hit this milestone, I am going to be doing a giveaway for some caliber. Anyone on any platform can enter, it doesn't really matter. All the details will be linked down in the description, and the winner will be chosen in the Discord, so join that as well so you can claim your rewards in the event that you actually want to enter in for the caliber. And once again, guys, thank you for the support on the channel. I'm going to continue to provide some good first Descendant content as the game continues to be developed. But with that out of the way, let's dive right on into the news. Check out this post from the first Descendant director. Greetings, Descendant. I wish to share the dev opinion regarding our recent so-called Valby run. Valby run, strategic outpost farming using Valby, is currently taking place at the outpost within the fortress, was certainly not intended. Due to our system mistake, mobs at the fortress outpost has been respawning infinitely, and as a result, the amount of items dropped has increased 2 to 3 times higher than any of our other popular locations. To maintain our game and to be adored by our players for a long time, we believe this is wrong to just look on and leave the unbalanced content, which is providing biased rewards. However, as Valby Run became popular very quickly within our community, we assume many players have researched Valby to enjoy the newly discovered content. The current issue has occurred clearly by our own mistakes, but we do not wish to suddenly remove it because it has already become a solid content for the first Descendant. So we'd like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the Fortress Outpost issue and to keep allowing players to enjoy playing like before. However, at the same time, we will be updating our farming locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the Fortress Outpost. Now, that is in itself already a pretty damn W statement. I have, in my experience as a gamer, not really run across a dev team that does anything like this. Any other dev team would have actually just straight up nerfed it and said, hey, just deal with it. Obviously, this was a place that was giving way more resources than everything else, and the dev team can easily recognize that. Now, one thing that I don't think a lot of players are talking about is that the dev team did recognize that players are using these mechanics because there is a lack of gold and a lack of resources in the game, and rather than just saying, hey, look, let's just nerf it, they say, hey, let's just bring everything up. If you're a regular viewer of my channel before the first Descendant, then you'll know my take when it comes to nerf mentality. I think there's a place for nerfing when things are just way too overtuned that you can't reasonably just bring things up, but I feel like there's always a case where you can actually always bring things up rather than bring things down. I feel like that will always make the game worse, and it will make people dislike it more. If you bring things up, there's no logical reason for any player to say, well, hey, you're making everything too good. More times than not, only players who are kind of trolls would think that way. One of the reasons why I personally stopped playing games like Diablo 4 is the heavy nerf mentality that they did on the Barbarian, one of my favorite classes, and even to this day, their nerf mentality is still too high. I'm a firm believer in making players feel powerful, and whenever I see a dev team who thinks exactly like that, that's a massive positive for me. So now, continuing on, although we've insisted that no additional content patch will be necessary next week, we have been preparing a new hotfix patch 1.04 prioritized to apply improvements so that we could finalize the week 5 development schedule. The main purpose for the patch is to reduce the cool time for Volk at strategic outposts and rebalance the location for collecting void fragments. Also, we're planning to diversify methods for gold supply by enhancing gold efficiency within special operations, which that is a massive W. I didn't even know they were doing that until reading this, so that's actually really good. Gold is actually a much bigger problem than I think a lot of players realize, especially when you're pumping builds like I do. Gold is way harder than getting hyper shards. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that. As we continue our live service for the first Descendant, we have no plans to respond by simply nerfing certain content for any gameplay which collides with our intentions. We respect every content created by our players, and we will do our best to create a game that all players can enjoy together for a long time. We appreciate your endless feedback and interest in our game, and will endeavor to provide a better game environment that will fulfill your expectations. Thank you. So once again, round of applause to the devs. This is a message as I, as a creator, love to see. finally, where things aren't going to be nerfed. And more importantly, this is a message as a player that really enjoys the game, really loves to see, because it makes me feel so good to see that we're going to actually be getting things getting stronger, not getting weaker. There's a lot of balance issues I do want to talk about in a future video, and seeing that they're willing to bring things up is always a very positive look of things, because some Descendants like Blair, for example, really needs some increases, you know what I mean? But we don't want to get into that conversation. Let's move on to the next bit of news. Now check out this post by Equivalent Story 670. We need a take all button, and as you can see in this picture here that he used with his phone rather than pressing the screenshot button, his mailbox is full of items and it has 55 out of 100. And if you are in this situation, because we all been here, you're gonna have to manually click every single one of these items, get them to your inventory. We need some changes on this. Now this isn't going to be a priority, obviously there's a lot of other issues that are way more pressing, but I would love to see the dev team just, you know, maybe make this a little bit more convenient. I love the fact that we can store up to 100 items, even though I don't feel like every item that should go to the mail, but I would love to see the mailboxes get some changes, because honestly I get tired of clicking 100 plus items every day. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but let me know down in the comments if you agree that we should have this just like take all things go to our inventory rather than have us have to click everything, or at the very least let us salvage from the mailbox, something like that. Next, check out this post from Medical Election, a very fitting post. FYI, this thing heals you. So if you guys are not familiar with Eugen has the ability, or I believe it's one of his Transcendent mods, makes one of his abilities become like a med kit. And when you walk into it, obviously you can actually stand there and get some healing. Now, the reason why I actually wanted to bring this post up is because I play something very similar with Enzo. If you've seen my live stream or you've seen my build videos for Enzo, then you know I really love this Enzo build. It gives a ton of crit to your whole entire magazine. So if you're a Glade or you use LMGs or any weapon, it'll give you a ton of damage, tons of crit, and make you do some insane numbers that you probably wouldn't naturally do. Anyway, I made a tier list about Eugen, saying how Eugen is a S tier Descendant, and I stand by that video. He just doesn't get a lot of playtime because the content is not necessarily hard, and a lot of players are not really paying attention. They don't run over my little thing that gives them a ton of crit, and they don't run over his heal like this guy is saying in this video. So just wanted to bring a little bit of awareness to the community that things exist on the map that gives you buffs. So if you see something abnormal, maybe run over it, because it could help you out. Finally, check out this post by the Busy Membership 6170 and Energy Activator. These are my rewards after completing only 10 rounds of Echo Swamp Defense. So as you can see in the picture, he got a Crystallization Catalyst, an Energy Activator fully built, and a few other things that's irrelevant compared to his reward. And for those of you who are not aware, you actually have the ability to get items like this. Now, how good their drop chances are, that's yet to be seen. Some people are saying less than 1%, but just know, for players who are wondering, defense missions, while they are pretty long, which I would argue they need some little reworking on the time it takes to get them done, there's a chance you could get some pretty awesome rewards like this, and it may be worth your time when you're leveling up. So yeah, that's why I always do them, because you never know. Anyways, that is it for the news for this video. I know it wasn't a lot, but let me know down in the comments what you think about everything, mainly the devs. Personally, I am pretty stoked to see how the dev team is handling things. The first Descendant of the game, despite its flaws, have been pretty damn solid, and I'm having a good time playing and seeing that the development team themselves are actually making the game better, not making it worse. That's always a positive. Most of the times I find a lot of dev teams to do the opposite, especially like games like Helldivers, where it's just this heavy nerf mentality. But yeah, seeing the dev team like really giving player power is something I'm really happy about, and yeah, I'm excited to see the future of the first Descendant. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Have a good one.